have a blanket accept that any given medication or any given treatment is 100% good. You should always view it with some skepticism.
Especially when you're getting the data from pharmaceutical drug companies that have like a long history of criminal
they've got a vested interest.
conduct.
Yes,
Yeah.
they've got a vested interest in the research. It's sort of like asking tobacco companies about, whether smoking is dangerous.
It's exactly the same thing.
Like, oh, according to our scientists, everything's fine.
Yeah, they lied in court forever. The same thing they did with OxyContin when
Yeah.
they said that it wasn't addictive. Like, they have a long history of being full of shit if it makes them money. And
Yes.
that's what they do. That's their business.
They've literally lost multi-billion-dollar lawsuits up in this.
Massive. They're in the. You have amazing scientists, right? You have these clinical researchers, these people that develop these incredible drugs, and this is their job. Their job is to figure out some new way to cure something, some new way to stop things, and then you have the money people.
Sure.
And the problem is when you have this one thing that you would assume they're only doing it to help people, and then you have this other faction that they're all just numbers people, and all they give a fuck about is maximizing profits and making sure they literally have an obligation to their shareholders. They have to make the most amount of money possible, and so they just want to push it on everybody, like the Vioxx scandal. There's internal emails showing they knew there was going to be cardiovascular events. People were going to get strokes. And they're like, I think we're still going to do well. And they did. They made like $12 billion. They got fined $7 billion, and 50 to 60,000 people died.
Holy shit.
Yeah. One of them was a friend of mine, got a stroke.
And died?
No, he didn't die.
Okay.
He lived, but he was a really healthy guy.
But
he was an athlete.
like not the same actor as
he had knee problems, and he took Vioxx, and all of a sudden he was slurring his words, and he couldn't concentrate, and people were like, I think you're having a fucking stroke, and they took him to the hospital. And then you have this giant class action lawsuit, and then Vioxx gets pulled from the market, and they get sued, and the whole thing's fucking crazy. But there's a long history of this. I think, what is the number? Like 1/3 of the drugs that the FDA approves gets pulled? It's fucking bananas.
That is crazy.
That's crazy. You're shitty at 1/3 of the things that you say are okay, but yet you're trying to stop MDMA therapy for veterans?
Yeah, they should let MDMA through, honestly. I think that would actually help a lot of people.
It would help a lot of people.
It would help a lot of people.
There's a lot of different therapies, specifically psilocybin, ibogaine. The fact that you have to go to Mexico to get ibogaine therapy for veterans. So many guys I've talked to have gone over there, and it's like completely giving them a clean slate, refresh their mind, and totally new perspective on life, alleviated depression, cured addictions. Illegal.
Yeah.
Illegal. OxyContin, go get it.
Yeah. And I know some people who, like, their life was ruined by OxyContin.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, it really depends on somebody's individual biochemistry. Like, to me, opioids are not addictive to me. Like, I've had them when I've had operations or something, and they barely affect my pain level, and they make me like itchy and uncomfortable.
They make me stupid.
Exactly. But I'm like, so like I could never get addicted to alcohol or opioids. It's just impossible. Like, because my biochemistry just does not have but I love tasty food. Feel like, if there's, I'm addicted to tasty food, sure. But like there's like can be like I have a whole wall of alcohol. It's there for decoration. I never touch it. Basically,
I feel the same way. I could easily quit alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go weeks without having a drink. It doesn't bother me at all. But I know some people, they have one drink and they're off to the races, and that's the difference in the biochemical differences that we all have. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the case with a lot of addictions. I'm not addicted to gambling, but I get it. I see it. I've seen it in people. But I have this aversion to things that I know are going to ruin my life. I see it. That's why I've never tried cocaine. I just saw too many people that it looks too fun. I'm like, I don't want to get involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think generally for any given drug, legal or illegal, you could. The question is, can you complete the following sentence? Blank made me a better person.
Meth.
Like, I've never heard anyone say meth made them a better person or cocaine made them a better person. No. Ever.
Made a lot of soldiers better, I think. That's
I mean, if you're doing, if you're like, if your soldiers need to march for 3 days in a row,
does. It's really
meth
good
is
for that.
Effective at that, like people give like France a hard time about capitulating in World War II. But you know what's worse than Nazis? Nazis on meth.
Nazis.
They're not stopping.
Norman Ohler
They'll
wrote
have like
this
6
book.
bullets. They're still coming.
That book over there, Blitzed, is
Yeah.
all about the use of methamphetamines
Yeah.
and the different drugs that they gave their soldiers. The guys at the front of the line, they gave the most meth.
Yes.
They have different dosages.
Yeah. I mean, you just basically think you're vulnerable on meth, and so it's one thing. Like I said, so one thing be have like the be Nazis come after you, but Nazis on meth, you're like, holy shit, those fuckers are not stopping, man.
For 3 days.
They're not stopping.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a statement, meth made me a better person, that you hear very often.
I've never heard that before.
No, you hear a lot of like psilocybin advocates. You hear a lot of people that talk
Yes.
about psychedelics.
Exactly. I've actually heard many people say that LSD or mushrooms or MDMA made them a better person.
Yeah.
Many people.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I think a rule for the FDA should be like, hey, look, if you can complete the sentence, legal or illegal, that blank made you a better person, actually,
Yeah.
then you got a good drug. And if you can't, you got a bad drug.
Also, if there's drugs that are available right now that can absolutely ruin people's lives, the rationalization for stopping other drugs that might ruin people's lives but also can help a lot of people's lives, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It's basically the same thing as censorship. You're taking away people's ability to discern what's true and not true,
Yes.
and you're taking away people's ability to discern what's good for you and not good for you. And the way to find that out is to have as much information as possible.
Exactly.